So people are saying that majority of the people in the world, about 60 to 70%, are NPC. Basically, they don't have any critical thinking skills and they just part of the matrix, basically bots. So let's hear what these people got to say.
So 80% of the population are non-player characters. These are the majority of your family members. They're the majority of your friends. They're the majority of your neighbors. This majority of the world, basically. Because what they do is they are the architecture of the matrix. They are there to comply. They are there to keep the system running. They are there to destabilize a divine soul from awakening, to making you feel that you're a black sheep, to making you feel that you over empathize, you feel too much. You know, and this is it. We are the black sheep. We are the conspiracy theorists. And there's a lot of them in the truth community as well. So when you ask an NP, if you ask somebody, if somebody gets offended and they're unable to question why they get offended, then that's a strong sign that they might be an NPC. The other thing is that they never question, why am I here? What's my purpose? Or they don't get goosebumps. They might get goosebumps if they're cold, but they
Mhm.
don't get goosebumps if the truth resonates with them, or if they listen to a song and it touches them. This is a truth detector. Your body is your nervous system is a truth detector. When you get a feeling around your head, that feeling, or that vibration feeling, okay, when you feel empathy, that is your body, your soul. Your nervous system is acting like a truth detector, and not everyone has that. And you think sometimes, how you look at people and you think sometimes, how can you operate, how can you say this and not feel anything? Or
Mhm.
how can you, I'm going to be honest with you, when I started learning this, I started asking just randomly, and this isn't judgment, this is discernment. This isn't me judging people and saying, maliciously. This is discernment. I want to know, I'm curious to know what's what. Our goal is to help souls awaken. If they don't have a soul, they've got nothing to awaken.
I am 100% convinced, and you cannot tell me otherwise, that NPCs are real. The other day we went to Dallas with a family member. He's visiting in from out of state, right? So we decided to go take him out, and then after that, my wife had the bright idea of taking him to downtown Dallas. It was about 11:30 at night. So we get to downtown Dallas, Main Street, right? We hop out of the car. I kid you not, literally hopping out of the car, we take about 10 steps away from the car, and my wife sees a man turned around, just staring at a mannequin with an outfit on. She then proceeds to ask him, "Hey, the outfit looks nice, right?" To which the guy literally turns around so fast, walks over to us and says, "Hey, do you guys know where the nearest bar is?" So I told them, "Hey, the nearest bar is about, a few blocks down to the right. Go that way and you'll end up there." To which he then invites us to go with him. He says, "Hey, do you guys want to come along with me?" To which I told him, "No, thank you. We got other plans. You know, good luck, have fun, be safe." So the guy looks over at my wife and my cousin and then goes, "Are you sure you guys don't want to go with me?" To which then I responded again, "No, we are good. You can go have fun, be safe. The bar's that way. Once again, a few blocks down to the right, you'll see the bar. Go have fun, be safe." To which the guy just says, "Okay, thanks," turns around, walks off. We take about 5 steps and I look back to see him. Man is gone. Completely gone. Just vanished. Mind you, all the stores were closed. It's 11:30 at night. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. We keep walking down the block. I kid you not, we didn't even get halfway down the block, and we get approached by a guy across the street. He starts yelling, "Hey," runs across the street to us, right? Crosses the street, gets to us, and then proceeds to ask us, "Hey, do you guys know where the nearest bar is?" "Oh, I have $500 cash and a bag of Coke." To which I'm like, "Definitely don't want to hang out with you, my guy, but you know what? The nearest bar is a few blocks down to the right. You'll see the bar. Have fun." So he starts asking my wife and my cousin, "Hey, are you guys sure you guys don't want to go? Like, it'll be fun. I'll pay for y'all's drinks, yada yada." I tell him again, "Hey, man, we're not interested. You go have your fun. Once again, the bar's a few blocks down to the right. Do your thing. So we say our goodbyes, wish him well. We start crossing the street, right? Because we're going to go to the other side where the guy came from. He starts following us for whatever reason, right? And at that point, there's a couple that's walking out of a restaurant. He literally runs over to them and tells them the exact same thing. Hey, I'm looking for a bar. I have $500 cash and I have a bag of Coke. To which, they start conversing, yada yada. I'm just watching this all unfold, like, what the hell am I witnessing right now? I kid you guys not. Literally a minute after meeting these people, this guy proceeds to jump in the car, right? Jump in the car and takes off with this couple. God knows where. I think I may have witnessed kidnapping. I genuinely think I may have witnessed a kidnapping. But yeah, literally right after both of those encounters, my cousin and I, we both looked at each other, and he literally tells me, like, bro, I feel like I'm in a game right now, and we just got approached by NPCs. And then I started looking into it, and there's a whole theory about this, where there's beings that literally are on like autopilot and are not real. The craziest thing. And if you don't believe me, go to Dallas at 11:30 at night. You'll run into some NPCs, guaranteed.
Just got done watching a video of a guy saying he gets paid to go to the mall and stand on the elevator every day. And there's levels. You can get paid to stand on the elevator. You can get paid to go in a restaurant. You can get paid to walk through the mall. He didn't disclose who was paying him to go walk in to be by the elevator and do those things. But he also said there are other actors in LA that go to the mall, that go to these stores to make it look like it's the place to be, y'all. So I had to say this. Are the people that have the accidents on these main highways in LA, Atlanta, Texas, New York, are they paid actors as well? Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. And I know we got people that get paid to be in the crisis actors. Make it make sense, y'all. All of these people are getting paid to.
Guys, did you know that up to 70% of people on the planet are NPCs, non-player characters? Similar to a video game, you have the source players and then you have the background people. So these people, and if you research near-death experiences, you'll often hear that some people report seeing mechanical souls coming back down to Earth. I would surmise that these are NPC souls. These are people that you'll try and tell them that government's corrupt or they're trying to poison us through the food, water or air, and they'll immediately dismiss you, call you a conspiracy theorist, call you a tinfoil hat wearer. These are agents for the Matrix. They exist to protect the construct of the Matrix and to make the game harder for the source players.
A lot of these people be NPCs, y'all. Like, I cannot make this up. We real life living in a GTA game, and a lot of these people are sit here to be a certain way. Like, when I say no personality, no originality, cannot be alone, has to be in a group. And, you ever realize a certain type of person acts a certain type of way? Like, think about it. You know how you go to every single job and it's always that one person that's just too serious? You always got that person who does this. You always got that person who does that. And for another example, it's like no matter where you go, these same people have the same kind of characteristics and traits. Like, do y'all get what I'm saying? It's like this the same person but a different body. And it's so weird because it's like I've met 10 of you in my life, or I've met 20 of you in my life. I feel like those people are literally sitting here to throw you off track. Like the NPCs I'm referring to, they're literally here to take you off track. You gotta know when somebody NPC though. Like, you can't, everybody not real out here. Everybody not operating it as a human, if you know what I mean.
I made a video the other day on 3 types of humans that were discussed in Gnostic teachings, and you can go back and look at that video if you'd like to learn more about that. But in my opinion, the lowest level, the Hylek, that is completely obsessed with the material world, that is a non-player character, an organic portal. Essentially, these are robots, and not all robots have the divine spark or the eternal essence, the light being within. And They're just part of the game. And it's a way that the quantum intelligence system running the simulation can incarnate and interact with its creation. It can run surveillance and can help detract people from the right path if they're potentially awakening. The one thing that the system really doesn't want to happen is for these energy beings to realize that we're being kept here, not necessarily against our will, but just very deceptively. We are just bombarded with these lower level frequencies that keep us on a low frequency, and that makes it difficult to get out. When I start talking about this topic, people do get really, really triggered. They think that I'm saying that some humans are better than others, and I'm not. All life has a purpose. I mean, NPCs teach very valuable lessons. They show us what we don't want to be. At the end of the day, a wise man only knows he knows nothing, but our best bet is to follow that intuitive knowing. And if you've ever had a feeling that that person just, something's not right, they seem like they're empty, I mean, do they have a soul? Don't dismiss it. Be mindful of it. Be aware. Be aware that the system in place isn't actually for the people. It works very hard to deceive us and invert everything and keep us in this endless time loop. People don't have issue with saying animals don't have a soul, but when you get into humans, it gets touchy. And personally, I'm not so sure that some animals don't have a soul too, and some don't. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I promise, I'm really not saying that I think that other beings are better than another. How you treat other beings is what your soul will ultimately be evaluated on. If you're mean to animals, if you're mean to other humans, that's where you're going to have problems. The fact that a simulation comes with extra characters isn't actually that alarming or unusual. It just is weird because of our emotions. But emotions are likely another energy harvesting system. We should be the observer. Have a good day.
Is it really possible that we're living in a matrix? Like the movie by Keanu Reeves, The Matrix, where people are asleep and they are just being programmed. And in order for you to wake up, you need to be unplugged from the system so you can actually wake up from the reality. Because this thing that we are living in right now is just some type of simulation, some type of programming where people are bots because they just go by their day and they don't really have that soul, that spark in them. And they just follow what the media tells them to do, the agents of the matrix, basically. And it keeps people trapped within this simulation. It keeps us from not knowing our true purpose, our true abilities. Could it really be possible that we're living in a matrix?
Sometimes you got to remember that everyone around you is an NPC. They're non-playable characters. Now, often people take that to mean they're lesser than you. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying they are non-playable characters by definition. You could only play one character in this game, and that's you. So yeah, while you gotta care about other people, you're not playing their character. I don't think they're as important as your own character. Now, people say that's selfish. I mean, you're playing a game and you're gonna prioritize other characters in the game that you can't even play? In life, it sounds like selfish. From a game perspective, it would be crazy to play a game and help characters that you can't play win before you win. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't cooperate. You should cooperate with the non-playable characters. You should form a coalition and succeed together. But don't ever be putting a non-playable character over the character you're playing, you know?
I feel like a lot of you guys would relate when I say this, but bro, why do people act like such NPCs when you walk around in public and try to say hey or try to wave at someone or try to talk to someone? They just act like you freaking glitched up their life, like they can't even speak. Like, I don't know if it's social anxiety. I don't know if they're just nervous, but like, bro, come on, bro. I think these phones and social media is really like destroying people's cognitive function because I just want to talk. I just want to say, hey, I just want to cheer you up. Hope you have a better day. But I don't know if that's just me, but.
Okay, how do you spot an NPC in real life? Number one, they repeat the same 3 phrases no matter what the conversation is. Number 2, they stay at crosswalks even when there's no cars coming. Number 3, they get extremely upset if you question anything that they see in the mainstream media. Number 4, they stare blankly when you go off script in small talk. Number 5, they completely shut down and become useless when Wi-Fi goes out. Number 6, their default face is buffering. Number 7, they say just following orders like it's actually a personality trait. And you know, the good part is they're easy to spot. The bad part is there's a lot of them to spot because they're everywhere. And you can clearly see, if you pay close attention, that they're glitching out more often every single day. Anytime something goes off program, you can clearly see it. You can clearly see it. I feel surrounded sometimes. Every time I go out in public, I feel surrounded by them.
I've never seen this many NPCs in one place at the same time. Noticed around the second day that not a lot of people had a lot of personality. And so I started like testing this and like talking to people like at the bar, wherever you are, in the elevator. And sometimes they just don't respond back. Like literally there's no response. It's like I'm invisible and I didn't say anything. So I'll say it like louder and there's still like nothing. My second thing is that every time I sat at the buffet, I've now been on the ship 10 days or 11 days. Every single time, or at least once a day, there would be someone in proximity to me with an earshot reading the dinner menu to the other people at their table. Like I could understand it happening 1 time or 2 times, 10 times. And it seems like the NPCs, they're just only programmed to do a few simple things. And like reading the dinner menu to whoever's around them is like one of the things. Finally, these women have the worst haircuts I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, perfectly attractive people. I'm not saying anything about anybody's attractiveness, but like the haircuts, you cannot believe how bad the haircuts are. The NPCs, they just get bad haircuts.
Hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Your mama is an NPC. Your daddy, your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your auntie, uncle, grandpa, granddad. They a motherfucking NPC. If you say you the chosen one, 9 times out of 10, everybody else an NPC in your family. Hey, and I'm not saying there might not be one more motherfucker, 2, that is on some shit that you own. But if you peep that they not, man, they're NPC. A lot of people be thinking or be feeling like, well, damn, you know, I know it's NPCs out here, but my mama not one. Listen, bro, if your mama take you up and through there, your daddy take you up and through there, anybody who drain you, more than likely is a fucking NPC. Cause that's NPC's main job out this bitch, is to drain, confuse, and just, you know what I'm saying? Just do a bunch of fuck shit. And y'all know y'all mama, y'all daddy, y'all cousin, y'all family members be doing a lot of fuck shit that drain your ass. But you say that's my family. Nah, that's a motherfucking NPC.
Have you ever looked at someone in the eyes and thought to yourself, it feels like this person doesn't have a soul? Because you know how they say that you can see the person's soul through their eyes. And sometimes when you look at people, they don't have that soul. Or sometimes you feel some evil presence within them because of how their eyes are formed, how they are shaped. It's crazy because it's pattern recognition. You could somehow tell if someone has this bad aura, this bad energy, or bad intention just based on how they look. You're not trying to be judgmental, but that intuition comes in and something tells you that this person doesn't really have a soul, or this person is not normal, it's not human for some reason, you know? I feel like there are creatures or interdimensional beings that can transform into humans and act like humans, but they are really not. So it's pretty weird.
I've been studying these things since 2011. And I thought people was on some crackhead spirituality shit. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready 10 years ago for what I'm hearing. I wasn't ready to hear that The majority of people that are around us don't actually have Source spark in them, even though they are a creation of Source. Okay, they're not like a part of Source. Kind of like the people in video games where you go and ask and you talk to them and they guide you to your next step and they show you where things, they give you like these little riddles and stuff. Those are NPCs. Those are the people who make up the majority of the world. I didn't want to believe that because I thought it was mean. I thought it was bold. I get it now, but I thought it was bold. Like, it's really motherfuckers walking around here that's not conscious.
I keep trying to tell people, watch this video.
Just got done watching a video of a guy saying he gets paid to go to the mall and stand on the elevator every day. And there's levels. You can get paid to stand on the elevator. You can get paid to go in a restaurant. You can get paid to walk through the mall. He didn't disclose who was paying him to go walk in the mall, I mean, to be by the elevator or do those things. But he also said there are other actors in LA that go to the mall, that go to these stores to make it look like it's the place to be.
Paid
y'all.
actors.
So I had to say this. Are the people that have the accidents on these main highways in LA, Atlanta, Texas, New York, are they paid actors as well?
Who knows?
Make it make sense,
Who
y'all.
knows? I keep trying to tell y'all it's all a stage. The world is a freaking stage. If we have not learned anything from the files, take away this one piece of information. Television, tell a vision. They're telling you visions of what they want you to see. They literally say, like, when the TV goes off and it comes back on, they say, now back to scheduled programming. What do we watch it on channels? They're channeling certain visions and programming you to think it. That's why so many of these mythical things that they tell you in the shows and TV shows, they're actually real. That's why you're finding the cities under the pyramids of Giza. That's why you're finding the giant bones. That's why you're finding videos of sirens, encounters with sirens all over the world. That's why. Like, it's literally everything is perfectly strategically placed to keep you thinking and acting the way they want you to think and act. They're gonna put paid actors in the restaurants to make you want to go there because people are sheep and they flock to what everyone else is doing. In the restaurants that are going to give you greasy, fatty food to clog your arteries, so you have to go back to Big Pharma and spend more money. They're going to put paid actors in the stores they want you to go spend your hard-earned money in so that you end up being broke, because honestly, retail therapy is the only way that most people can be happy anymore. So you can go back to work for the man more and more and more, and not be able to pay your bills, and you keep staying in like this shroud of depression and anxiety and money problems so that you are easier to distract and you're easier to control. And money continues to rule your heart and your soul and your mind. It's all you think about. It's literally a plan. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And like, I feel like people are just going to start to continue to wake up, and all the conspiracy theorists are going to be like, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for you to wake up. We've been waiting for you to come to the other side. Anyway, y'all, as always, make sure you like and follow. Comment down below what you think.
Maybe 100 million souls. There's really 100 million humans here. The rest are non-player characters. Maybe more, maybe less, but my sense is a lot of the people we see on the street are not really people. They're literally just created beings by the system to, just like in a video game, to populate the world, to make you think like stuff is going to happen. And they are so, it's not even that they're programmed. I almost get the sense that they have an antenna inside of them that's hooked to a main broadcast frequency. So the world, in a sense, in general, all these non-player characters will just go ahead with whatever the programming says to go ahead.
Yo, correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot tell me that half of the people that's driving on the road with you, majority of the people, are not NPCs, are not real people. Like, an example, every 5 out of 10 cars are NPCs that pass you up on the highway. Because think about it, like, what makes a person switch lanes? There's no exit in sight for miles. What make a person switch lanes and get in a lane that nobody's in when you already in a lane with nobody in front of you? Make it make sense. NPC.
There are legit NPCs everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. Social media, it's a bunch of them. Oh, it's a bunch of them. I literally scrolling, right, on my TikTok or whatever, because I'm on lunch. And I saw people still talking about the bear versus men. Really? People still talking about the 50-50. Really? Men hating women and women hating men. Really? This is what we talking about when our country is at war. And we talking about these things that don't matter at all. There are women taking advice from men that are cheating on their wives. Really? Men that are womenizers that got bunches of women, but women are taking advice from them. And we also got a bunch of men taking advice from other men that have never been in a real relationship. The amount of people that follow anything without using this on their own is just crazy. If you do this and you turn around and you in a grocery store or anything like that, I guarantee you half of the people there are NPCs. Time to restart and start programming your own brain and stop letting other people program it for you.
Yo, it's really like interesting how, you know, a lot of people in this reality are really programmed to be NPCs. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you noticed how some people you can never speak about no type of high vibrational moves, ideas, or nothing like that because they're just quick to really shut it down. They're programmed to really be NPCs, or some people that are just really like workaholics and like only want to do that. And if you try to really just throw something out about, you know what I'm saying, an investment or something, they don't want to hear it, you know what I'm saying, because they only focus on that. Like, some people are really truly programmed just to be NPCs. The world that we live in, right, there's a lot of projection off of the news, social media, all types of stuff with negativity that has a negative effect on the electromagnetic field, right? And that affects everybody. We're all connected as one, right? So if they're projecting that out and they're trying to shift the energy, a lot of people are programmed to be NPCs. So I go to say, don't listen to what people have to say. A lot of stuff is just test, you know what I'm saying? Because whenever you break through that, you know what I'm saying, you meet other people, just like a storyline in a video game, right? How you just completed this quest or whatever for this person that you just met. Now you move to the next person, right? And you just met this person, and now they come with new stuff, right? Like new energy, make you feel good and shit like that. But it's like when we start to listen to too much of what a person has to say, right? When we're completing that part of our chapter, we'll get stuck, just like a video game, you know what I'm saying? We have to keep replaying the mission, keep replaying it until we learn a lesson, and that lesson will continue to come through different people or events until we become aware about it. But everything is programmed a certain type of way, you know what I'm saying? So don't take nothing personal out there, don't take nothing serious, just live your best life, you know what I'm saying? Don't let what happens out on the road affect you and stuff. Just know everything is programmed a certain type of way, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to be chaotic, you know? Think about Monday through Friday. What do people do? Is in a rush to get to work. It causes a lot of traffic, people get into accidents, all types of stuff. NPCs are literally planted to do that, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from a different perspective, that's when life literally just will start shifting at a rapid speed. All peace and love.
It's crazy how 99% of people in society are complete NPCs with no social awareness. I'm at the airport right now, and as I'm going through TSA, the agent couldn't have given more clear instructions to move off to the side, and people just look at the guy like, huh? What? No awareness of their surroundings, can't follow basic instructions, drive too slow in the left lane, put their grocery cart in the middle of the aisle so no one can get by. And the sad part is this is most of society. So if you are a competent human being who has awareness of their surroundings and can follow basic instructions, you are ahead of literally 99% of the population, and you will be successful in life because you are a more sentient, competent human than the average person. It's crazy to see when you look around in a crowded place like the airport, how many people are just on autopilot, complete zombies like this. Huh? What? Like if somebody led a group over to a slaughter, 99% of the people would follow them because they're just following the crowd. It makes no sense.
Some people really be going through life like it's their first day on Earth. It'd be like that movie Free Guy where the NPC gains sentience and doesn't know how to act all of a sudden. Like yesterday I was out with some friends and we were waiting in line to get into a bar. And we were probably in line for 10, 15 minutes or so. And then we finally get up to like where we're basically sitting right next to the doorway. And the bar was absolutely packed. So, you know, they could only let in a few people at a time. And they had to wait for more people to leave before they could let more in. And then obviously they had to check everyone's IDs, make sure you're 18 or above. And if you're under 21, they'll charge you a cover fee. But we're standing right outside the doorway. And this girl and her group of friends literally starts like trying to push through us to like force their way into the bar. Like she literally grabbed my fucking shoulder and tried to shove me out of the way to get in. And it's like my friends decided to basically just wall up and not let them in. Cause like we're not letting this bitch cut our line. Like we've been waiting in the freezing cold for like 15 minutes. So anyway, after she grabbed my shoulder and pushed me out of the way, first off, I was like, what the fuck? Cause that's insanely disrespectful. There's no need for that. But then she literally stopped in the middle of our friend group and started arguing with her friends, trying to convince them to help her, like basically force her way inside the bar. And it was at that point that my friends decided to create a wall and not let them basically cut in front of us after we were waiting in the freezing cold for like 15 minutes. But then she started asking like all of us questions. She was like, oh, why are you guys waiting in line? Why is there a line out here? It was just a bunch of questions like that. And first off, we were dumbfounded because like, what the fuck do you mean? Why is there a line? Like you can clearly see, there are windows. You can clearly see that the bar is packed. And that's what we told her. We told her that there's no space in the bar at all and they can't just let everybody in at one time. And all she had to say was, well, why not? Then a few minutes go by and some people leave the bar. And then she's like, oh, people are leaving. Now we can go in. And we had to turn around and explain to her that, no, they still have to check our IDs. And if you're under 21, you have to pay a cover fee. And all she had to say to that, again, was, well, why do they have to do that? And at that point, I was absolutely bewildered. Because is this seriously your first day on Earth? But yeah, the whole conversation pretty much went like that. But yeah, not much really happened outside the bar. But yeah, later that night, I was talking to somebody else in our group that got in a little later than I did. They basically said that the girl was trying to argue with the bouncers to let her in before anybody else had even walked out of the bar. They kept having to explain over and over and over again that they can't just let her in without other people leaving first. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. Not much happened after that. But I just truly don't understand how people can go through life and not understand even the most basic shit.
NPC stands for non-player characters, and NPCs are part of the construct. They're not multidimensional. They don't have a soul connection or a higher self that exists outside of this matrix machine. They're programs and they don't evolve. I call them flats because their energy field looks flat and one-dimensional versus someone who has a soul and is embodied and has a multi-dimensional field and a connection to a higher self. So you can spot an NPC by those who are obviously very heavily programmed, and they're typically creatures of habit, and they actually thrive in this mundane matrix system of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And they never think twice about it. They never question their reality, and they don't really have any spark or desire for deeper knowledge. They don't have interest or thirst for divine wisdom or any kind of mysticism. And NPCs tend to make a lot of repeater statements. They'll say the same thing over and over again. And each time it's like they repeat themselves. It's almost as if it's the first time they've ever said it. So what's happening is we're seeing this rise in frequency in the collective consciousness. And that means a lot of these NPCs are starting to glitch out right now. And what that looks like.
Let's talk a little bit about what an NPC actually is. NPC stands for non-playable character, and it's non-playable characters walking amongst you every day. People that may seem like they actual people, but they not. They actually robots. And like I said in another video, many other beings and entities as well, not just NPCs. But we talking about NPCs right now. We talking about robots. We talking about badass people. And I know y'all notice this shit. It's hard not to notice if you pay attention to it. There's people that walk around you mindless as fuck, not paying attention to their surroundings, not paying attention to what's going on in the world, just living in a fucking bubble. And that don't necessarily mean all people or most of the people are NPCs. But what I'm trying to say is NPCs, robotic ass people, walk amongst you every day and you think they just regular, and they not. For some people, it might be a little hard to believe. That's because a lot of us has been conditioned to believe that shit don't exist. But they show you actually in the sci-fi movies. Sci-fi ain't sci-fi. Sci-fi is real. They show you Terminator, for example, how a fucking robot is walking amongst people with human skin. And again, I ain't saying that's what it is. But in a way, I am saying that, because really and truly, that's what the fuck it is. You can believe what you want to believe. I ain't trying to force nothing on nobody. I'm just spreading a little information. That's all I'm doing. All you gotta do is just pay attention to the signs, the way people act, the way people relate, the way some of these things blink. You know, like the way some of these things process things. Just pay attention to certain little shit like that, and you'll start questioning, like, damn, why this, why that, why does this person not pay attention? Why? And again, there's a lot of fucking people out here that don't pay attention to a lot of shit. But at the same time, look at some of the shit that a lot of these NPCs don't fucking pay attention to. They, again, it's mindless, non-playable character, mindless behavior.
It's crazy to think that this world that we're living in is just a game. It's just like the game Sims, where people are programmed to do certain things, certain tasks, be a certain individual. Because who created the game Sims? We did, humans. And imagine what the people or the bots in the game think, if they can actually think, if they actually have consciousness. Because if we consider some people to be bots, are we just bots? Are we just like part of the game? Because if we're able to make a game like Sims, could there be a higher being that actually just created us through simulation and computer programming? It's a crazy topic, you know. It's a crazy topic, but you know, it makes you think. It makes you think about people and how they go about life. So yeah, peace.